In today's global environment, our country's evolving national security requirements call for a flexible and ready force. A force capable of responding to any threat in a quick yet sustainable manner. In answering the call, today's Army is changing to meet the demand. And we're doing it now, changing as we go. Because in the midst of the global war on terrorism, there's no time to slow down.
He's getting ready to leave again.
He just gets home and in 2 months he's gonna have to redeploy again.
I know we're the frontline guys, but deployments are hard.
As soldiers, we want to know what the future will hold and what it means to us and our families.
I feel that basically I have no control.
I just wish the Army would just be a little, easier on us, family members.
The answer lies in the Army Campaign Plan, an ongoing process that allows us to be a relevant and ready force. At the heart of this are three ideas: modularity, stabilization, and rebalancing.
We're going to a modular Army that we can plug and play in very creative ways. We're going to one that is rebalanced in terms of across the active guard and reserve, in terms of the capabilities and capacities, and one that's much more stable than it's been in the past.
Modularity gives us a degree of flexibility and more power by developing brigade units of action. These rapidly deploying units can be plugged into any division, enabling us to better fight high-intensity conflicts. With stabilization, home basing allows us to develop cohesive, stable units where our spouses can keep a job and our children can go to the same school.
We feel this is fundamental because if a soldier's family is stable and satisfied with that, then the soldier feels much better about the up-tempo and the sacrifices that service to the nation demands.
Rebalancing provides more high-demand specialties that are required to fight today's battles.
It makes our units more lethal, makes them better capable.
The reality of today's sustained operations and increased global readiness is not without its costs. Back-to-back deployments, constant moves, and increased op-tempo environments are taking their toll on soldiers and their families. This is the largest change we have undergone in 50 years. That means we must address problems on the home front as well as the battlefield.
6 months prior to my deployment to Iraq, I returned from Bosnia, which was a 6-month tour, so basically in the last 24 months I've been deployed 18.
I really do think that a year is too long for a deployment, especially if it's going to be consistent and back-to-back.
We are constantly on the go. If it isn't deploying to war, it's deploying to NTC. If it's not deploying to NTC, it's prepping up, going to the field, practicing to go to NTC. We have to slow this train down. If you want people to be happy here, or wherever they're deployed, you have to slow down the op-tempo.
We're responding to your concerns, even as we fight the global war on terrorism, by rebalancing and stabilizing the force, making it more flexible through modularity.
We're trying to provide a great deal more stability to the soldier and the soldier's family.
Rebalancing will create the specialties we need to get the job done with fewer back-to-back deployments.
Ideally, we'd like to see the length of the deployments be reduced back to 6 months.
Modularity means we don't call on the same people every time we deploy.
And what that does, it creates more flexibility in our force, and it reduces the deployments for those soldiers out there assigned to the brigade units of action.
And moving less would certainly be better, especially from my 8-year-old, my 3rd grader's perspective. She hates moving. She hates leaving her friends and hates changing schools.
It's very, very hard on families, and that's one of the good things that's coming out of this transformation is the stabilization for the families.
The package in this campaign plan is moving us not only to have an Army that has greater capabilities and capacity, that's balanced in terms of what it needs, but it is also stabilized in a way that allows it to refresh itself and to have a level of predictability.
Modularity, rebalancing, stabilization. These are big changes, and they won't be completed overnight, but they are already underway.
We will see these changes before this decade is out, and that we're talking about in the next 3 years significant changes in the Army.